What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, my dudes, and this is week 3, day 2. We're going to be doing some video editing today in Premiere Pro. We're actually going to be assembling our wedding slides video. You guys imported your files, you created your sequence, you've got everything ready to go. And so now what we're going to go ahead and do is start assembling that stuff in our Premiere Pro sequence. So go ahead and open up Premiere Pro. Open the wedding slides project you created yesterday, and it should look a little bit like this. The big things that we're going to be doing today, let me just walk you all through that to make sure we're all on the same track. The big things we're going to be doing today is we're going to be moving all 31 of the photos into the sequence. We're going to be scaling the photos to fit. We're going to add transitions, and then lastly, we're gonna have to find some music and add some music into this. So this is going to be actually a lot of work, but I'm going to try to go through the instructional part of it pretty quickly because a lot of it is very, 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 very repetitious. So let's go ahead and jump into Premiere Pro. Let's get this going. So here we go. We're in Premiere Pro. We have our sequence created. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control A, and I just selected everything. But I don't want to select my sequence. So I'm going to hold down the Control button and click it. So what I should have is my sequence, and you can tell it's your sequence because of this little icon. I should have my sequence unselected and everything else selected. So just in case, one more time, let's do that again. I'm gonna hit Control A, selects everything, and then I'm gonna Control click my sequence. And there it goes, it's off. If you wanna do this in list mode over here, list view, you can change your project panel settings to list view, and you can see all of the different files, and down here is my wedding slides, and I'm just gonna Control click it to turn it off. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna be real lazy, and we're just gonna bring everything over at once. We have to do a little bit of cleaning up, but we were gonna have to do that anyways. So it's kind of just faster to go ahead and bring it all over at once. So let's do that. I've got everything selected except my sequence, and I'm just gonna click, hold, drag, and drop right here. And what I've got, if you look over here, if you zoom in, I have got a lot of pictures all put in here, and they're all equally spaced. So Premiere Pro kind of by default makes your pictures about 5 seconds each. So it just does it by default. You can actually go in and change it, but today we're not gonna worry about that because it's not important. We're just gonna be creating this video. So if I hit the play button, I can see up here in my program, we get about 5 seconds per slide, and then it changes. The problem is that I am super duper zoomed in, and nobody wants this view. This is not what we're looking for. So what we have to do is scale this back, and we need to fix this so that we're getting, instead of this where it's just zoomed in on everybody and not making any sense, we want to see the full picture. So what we're going to do is we're going to be scaling each photograph. So let's come back over to Premiere Pro, and I'm going to click on my first image, and I'm going to right click. Man, there are so many options on this right click, but what we're going to be looking for is scale to frame size. And so if I look, it's about 2/3 of the way down, scale to frame size, and I'm just gonna click it. And that's much better. And it has shrunk that singular picture. So if I come back over, you can see I've still got some major issues here. All of these need to be fixed. So let's go ahead and let's select all of the photos. So all I did was I clicked up here above everything, hold and drag and select all. And so I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to scale to frame size, same as what I did before, and click it. And so now what I have is, instead of everything being way too big, it actually fits. So this looks right. So if we played through this, it would be a really nice little cute slideshow of all their wedding photos and blah, blah, blah. So that was pretty easy. So we've gotten we've gotten our photos moved over, we've scaled it down to the right size, and now we're gonna get into something that's a little bit more complex. So we're gonna be adding some transitions, because if we watch this, if we watch our little video, here he goes, it just flips from one picture to the next, which is, it's okay, but it could be a little bit nicer. So we're not gonna get crazy with this. What we're actually gonna do is add the same exact transition between each one. And I'm gonna show you how to do that, and it is a little bit repetitious. There's a faster way to do it, but I want you to kind of learn how to do it this way, and the repetition is gonna help. So come with me back to Premiere Pro. We're gonna get into some advanced stuff here. So on your project panel, there are other tabs, and you should have a tab called Effects. Let's click Effects. Now you have these folders, and each folder has a little drill down, and what we're gonna look for are video transitions. Mine is at the very bottom. And I'm gonna click the little arrow beside video transitions, and it's gonna open up a new list of folders, and I'm gonna click dissolve right now, and it's gonna open up a new list of folders. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click cross dissolve, and I'm gonna drag it and drop it in between the two clips. So if I zoom in, and you can zoom in by coming down here on your little scroll bar and getting at the end, clicking and holding and like dragging it left or right, zooms in and out. But if I just click and hold this transition and drag it all the way over in between, so you can see I've kind of got it to where it's lighting up between the two, and I'm gonna let go. So now if we watch this clip, instead of just clicking to the next picture, it cross dissolves. So, wow, that looks a lot better than just like, this is a lot better kind of a look. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a cross dissolve in between every single one of these photographs. But what I would like for you to do is to look at the different video transitions. There are several. If we come back over here, you've got these dissolves, you've got an iris, a page peel, slides and wipes, and zooms. Please feel free to experiment with that and add your own different transitions. You don't have to do the same transitions for every video, for every photo transition. You can change it up and do something different. If you don't do something different, that's okay too. I'm just wanting you to get in the habit of physically dragging these effects over and dropping them so you kind of see how it works. So here we go. I'm gonna add cross dissolve in between every single one of these. I'm gonna zoom back out a little bit so that I can see all of mine. And I'm just gonna place this cross dissolve in between everyone. And it should show up as like, kind of like a chain link overlapping the other two at their joint. So I'm just dragging them across. It's very repetitive, it's very boring, and we're gonna get all the way to the end here. So, here we go. Yeah, this is super boring. If you're still watching this, go ahead and like fast forward, like a lot of fast forward. And I mean like a lot of fast forward. So I'm just dragging and dropping these all the way to the end. And yeah, I'm gonna stop right there because you've seen enough. You should be able to do the exact same thing. And when you come back over to watch, what you'll see is that there are some very nice, smooth, gradual transitions between each image. It looks nice. It's fancy. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we're gonna leave it like that. You need to make sure and put a transition in between all 31 photos. So don't forget that, don't leave that off. The last thing we're gonna do is add music to this today. The last thing we're gonna do today is to add music to this. So what I want you guys to do for me is we're going to be getting music from YouTube or any other source where you can get music. And we're gonna try this. And if it doesn't work, let me know and I will just provide you with some music, but it's an experiment. So here we go. I'm gonna come back over to my computer. I'm gonna go to my browser. I'm gonna go to YouTube and I'm going to actually search for a wedding song. You guys do not have to do this. I'm gonna look for Pachelbel's Canon in D. And I'm gonna do a string quartet version. And so here we go. Let's see what this sounds like. It sounds like nothing because there's no audio. Let's turn the audio up. Let's see what we got. Still sounds like nothing. I think my audio is broken. Oh well, that's okay. We'll figure this out. I'm gonna skip the ads, and they're gonna start playing here in just a minute. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just going to, this is how you do this, and this is really confusing. I hope you can follow along with this, but just follow along as close as you can. I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna copy the URL. So the URL is the address in the very top. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna hit Control C. I'm gonna create a new tab by hitting Control T. So now I've got this new tab, and I'm gonna type in my search bar YouTube to MP3. And I'm gonna hit OK or enter. You've got a lot of different options. The school might have blocked some of these, so you may have to try a few. If none of them work, let me know, and I will just provide you guys with some music for you to choose from, but I want you to try to download it yourself. So I'm going to use the very first one, ytmp3.cc. That one has worked for me in the past, and from here, I'm just going to click and hit Control V to paste, and I'm going to click the convert button. Now, here's the tricky part. Very, very tricky. Don't get fooled into clicking something you shouldn't click, because part of the way these websites make money is to fool you into clicking on ads. So don't do that. Yeah, don't click on anything that says anything weird. Just be real careful about it. We're gonna hit download right here. Don't click this download, because as you can see, it says advertising. That's gonna totally rip you off and steal your Social Security card and stuff. So download, and this is, I got a web page blocked, and that's because this took me to an ad. But I can see down here in the bottom that on my downloads bar that it did indeed download the music file. So I can just close that and I should be good. Now we need to move our music from where we downloaded it, which is our downloads folder, over to our Premiere Pro. So I'm gonna come back over. I was on effects. I'm gonna come over to project wedding slides. And so I'm back on my project view. I'm gonna come back and switch to the icon view. And what I need to do now is go back to my folder. I'm gonna go to this PC, downloads, and here's my music right on top of my downloads. So I'm just gonna drag it and drop it into my project bin, just like I did with the music, and with the photos. And what you can see here is it added it. It's got this weird green WAV file, so I know that I brought in a sound file. Last thing we're going to do today is add this music to our video, and then we're going to save and call it a day. So I'm going to just click, hold, drag, and drop it at the very beginning. I'm going to zoom out, and you can see, yes, we are good. Tomorrow when we come in, we're going to trim this up, add a few more effects, and then we're going to call it good for a video and submit this. So if you've made it to this point, you're good. Save your project file hitting Control S, and we will see you guys tomorrow.